Hi, my name is Ben Bowers, and I'm an assistant professor at Auburn University and a member of the NCAT family. Cold central plant recycling is when we take the millings from a road. That can be the road that is currently in existence or even stockpiled wrap that's on your yard already. We can combine that material with a little bit of water, which admittedly freaks the asphalt community out a little bit, but that's used to help us get density, as well as a recycling agent, which is either foamed asphalt binder or emulsified asphalt binder, and perhaps an active filler if the design needs it, which helps with a little bit of early stiffness, as well as the distribution of foam bubbles throughout the mixed matrix. This material performs really well. To be perfectly honest, if you were to take a look at it in the design phase, you might wonder how it would perform, but this is used in the base layers of the pavement, so it's in a confined environment. And what we've seen here at the NCAT pavement test track is that we can get as much as 40 million easels on this material before we really start having big concerns with cracking and rutting. There was a case where we put it on top of a stabilized base and we got 30 million easels and actually took it out of commission because it was doing so well. We were seeing no change whatsoever. We believed that we actually built a perpetual pavement with it. The environmental implications are huge. Reason number one is sort of obvious. We're using recycled material. And what's really neat about this is we're moving towards circularity, meaning that we're going to use that pavement as pavement. This material is still viscoelastic in nature, just like hot mix. We're actually using that wrap binder in these mixes. But the second reason, and this is very important in today's climate, is the fact that we're able to lower our greenhouse gas emissions. There is no heat addition here. So as we're producing this mix cold, we're lowering our energy impact, we're lowering our emissions. We also don't have any issues with smell and things like that. So there's a lot of big implications from the greenhouse gas and moving towards a more sustainable pavement system. At the NCAT pavement test track, we've actually built multiple sections with this material. Back in 2012, VDOT constructed 3 sections, one with a 4-inch hot mix asphalt overlay and 5 inches of CCPR over aggregate base, one with a 6-inch asphalt overlay over 5 inches of CCPR over an aggregate base, and then a third section with 4 inches of hot mix asphalt over 5 inches of CCPR over a full depth reclamation base, so a stabilized base. In all cases, these mixes performed way better than I think we ever imagined. We're actually getting ready to take N4 off after 40 million equivalent single axle loads. That pavement's been out there for 12 years. This is a really impressive performance. So it's looked really good over that time. This is 4 inches of hot mix over 5 inches of CCPR over that aggregate base. So it doesn't even have the stabilized layer. The section with the stabilized layer, we took offline last cycle because there was no change in the strain data. We believe we achieved a perpetual pavement. Another mix we produced down here actually used that Aztec double barrel plant. And so we produced that mix, brought it out, put it down, and then put highly modified asphalt over top. Comparing it to a control, which was a full depth highly modified asphalt, we actually saw better performance from the cracking perspective. So we saw 0 cracking when we took that offline after over 10 million easels. We've also rebuilt our off-ramp, and in this case, we used emulsified asphalt as well as foamed asphalt, which are your typical CCPR treatments in terms of that recycling agent. But we also added Rejuvenators because people were very interested in what happens if you use different types of Rejuvenators. And we've been studying this with a 1-inch thin overlay. And we've seen really good performance, and we're actually learning about the Rejuvenators and some additional applications we can use it for there. So there is hope in terms of how we might be able to use this to even step up our pavement performance a notch higher, which could be really important for those secondary routes and things that don't have a lot of structure to work with. I think that the keys to wider use are going to come in a few different forms. One is people getting used to it and actually seeing the performance benefits. That's where we come in. You come to the test track, you can see the performance that we've seen with our CCPR pavements, both on the off-ramp, on the test track itself, and even out on US 280. We've had great performance out there with thin overlays, no problems whatsoever. So that's number one, is showing that performance and getting people used to it. Number two is creating pathways for contractors and agencies to actually implement. So historically, we've used mobile plants. So Wirtgen has a mobile plant that they brought to the site. We've also had Pavement Restorations come out and they've brought a portable pug mill. We've used that, and in both cases, we've got excellent performance out of the mixes. Aztec has also come out with a plant, and we're looking forward to seeing how that plant works and seeing examples of where it's been implemented to produce this mix. And then the last way, and this is something we've actually recently completed, is the development of guidelines. So we worked on the NCHRP 1443 project, which developed construction guide specifications for CCPR and CIR. Those have gone through the AASHTO review process, and we're expecting them to be published very soon, along with best practice guides and other helpful documents that you can build a specification around so that you can actually implement this and get that performance that we've seen down here in your state.